work with Dave quite a bit.
She did.
And yeah, we had a few hurdles to overcome and things to learn from each other. And one thing, this is a very funny story. I overheard Dave in his office saying, "Oh, can I ask Martha to do this? Will it be okay?" And it was a particular job. I don't know what it was.
Can't
and
remember.
so I thought, hey, this shouldn't be happening. So I marched into Dave's office and said, "Look, Dave, stop trying to decide what I can and can't do because you can't know. Just ask me and I'll let you know straight up if I can or can't do it."
Well, actually, that particular story is one I often tell other people who have either staff or volunteers or people helping out who have a disability of some sort. It's something I often tell those people: just be careful you're not making decisions on their behalf.
Yeah.
Just ask is the best way.
Yeah.
I learned that from you.
But also, you learned to ask me for things that I couldn't possibly do, and somehow I'd get someone else to do it. Or
Well, you did it.
There are ways.
You just coordinated it. That was it.
Yeah. So what was it like working with someone with a disability?
Well, the end result was fabulous.
Yeah.
Actually, just wonderful. But there are some things you have to face. And if people are watching this who have a disability, this is nothing new to them. But it is to other people because you have to be prepared. For example, there's money involved. You've got to, we have to make certain allowances. We had to change the way a toilet or the bathroom was set up. You go, we got to think about, oh, gee, my wheelchair's not going to fit through that little gap in the office. Those sorts of things. I remember having to change the furniture around my office. Some of those things cost money. Some cost a bit of time. Some it's just about not being lazy. Like, it's not all about it. But you have to do those things. But I argue, actually, that you have to do those things anyway.
Yes.
With other people, it's just other things you have to do. We make allowances we especially do for family people. So, in our office, anyone who's got kids is allowed to, we don't dock them their time. They can race off to their kids if their kids need them. We encourage them. And that's something else. So we make allowances all along.
And can I just add there, like as a person with a disability, you have to show grace to your employer.
You really do.
You have to really understand where they're coming from. And look, personally, I don't understand every disability.
No.
That's just the truth. Just because I'm disabled, I won't understand what it's like for a blind person or a deaf person.
No.
And so I would make mistakes. And if I would make mistakes, so would an able-bodied person. So I think as a person wanting a job, I mean, there's a line that, people can be mean and insensitive on purpose, but for the majority of people, they're just making mistakes. And you have to show grace.
Yeah, and we all make mistakes.
Yeah.
We do, and things won't improve if you're grumpy with everybody. Like if you've got a chip on your shoulder, I mean, maybe you deserve to have a chip on you. I mean, people. It hasn't been easy for people with disability. They've already got a disability, and then it's not easy again.
Yeah.
In the workplace often, but that's not going to change stuff. I don't think so. You have to. Patience is incredibly important. But if there are any employers who ever get to listen to this, I would say that in the first, it costs you a fair bit to the employer say, or the person who's running the show, who has a volunteer come in with a disability. In the first little bit, it feels like it's costing you a lot.
Yeah.
But it actually does that. The truth is, it does that with volunteers generally because you've got to teach them things and volunteers, to be honest with you, sometimes they come, sometimes they don't. So You know, you can't always rely. So in the first little bit, it can be expensive.
Yeah.
And if you don't be patient and just wait, then you don't realise that towards the middle and the last part of the time with you, not only does it kind of even out, it doesn't just even out.
Yeah.
It manifold you receive back from having someone in the workplace with a disability. Like it sensitises, for a start, it sensitises all your staff.
Yeah.
It helps to make a nicer place. People, you know, are a little more careful about what they think and what they do and where they leave things, and that's good. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It's like I'm a bit of a fan of having children in the workplace a little bit in certain workplaces because it makes you think about how you do things.
That keeps you accountable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for employers, you know, if you can suck it up for a few weeks while you get organised,
Yeah.
you really
also,
benefit.
yeah, also there are schemes out there for employers, like government will pay for certain things.
I believe so.
So it won't cost an employer as much as they might think.
And I'll tell you something else. Without even knowing, a lot of employers have already employed people with disability. They just don't know it necessarily. Not all disabilities. There's a bit of a character. You're in a wheelchair. There's a bit of a characterisation. You know, like that's what a person with a disability has, a wheelchair. No one will say it, but that's what's in their head.
Yeah.
But there are disabilities of many, 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 many kinds.
Mm-hmm.
And I know this isn't technically correct, but there are some people who have never worked in their life, and it's not a physical disability, okay? It's not a diagnosed psychiatric issue, but it's still a disability because they haven't got the social skills. So they are, in a way, it's not as difficult as being in a wheelchair or something, but in a way they've got something to overcome too, and a lot of us have. So, you know, employers might think they haven't got anyone on their staff, but I'll bet they have, and I don't see the problem. You know, I don't see the problem. In fact, it's been very exciting for us.
Well, thank you for your time today, Dave. We may wrap it up there. It's been great talking to you. That's it for today on Let's Get Working. I'll see you next week. And remember, if you have any comments or questions that you'd like to ask, just write on the blog and I'll get to answering your question as soon as I can. Thanks. Have a great week.